Hey, good day, folks. It's Tourism Tim with another exciting episode of Tourism Marketing TV. And today I'm honored to have on Mike Brcic, who is the founder of Sacred Rides, which is an amazing mountain biking company that does awesome mountain biking trips all over the world. And you're celebrating your 15-year anniversary. Congratulations, Mike.
Thanks, Tim. Happy to be here.
Very good, very good. Well, before we get going, I just want to let people know that in these 15 years, you've had many accolades, including, and I got to look at my notes here, is that National Geographic magazine rated you the #1 mountain biking tour company on Earth. Very nice. 2011 Trip of the Year Outside Magazine. You've been featured in Men's Journal, Bike, and many others. And as you just learned, you are also the recipient of the coveted travel website that sells Superstar Award, only the third one I've ever given out. So congratulations, Mike.
I think the cherry is on top now.
Very good, very good. Well, why don't you give our viewers a little bit of a background of what you guys do, where you do it, and just a little bit of background.
So the company, I started it in British Columbia 15 years ago, and it was based on the belief that seeing a country or a region from the seat of your mountain bike was the best way to really experience it, and to really get to know a country, you have to get away from the main roads and the highways, and really get into people's backyards and into the wilderness and to regions that people don't normally get to. And so we really focus on trail-based trips where we're taking people riding on backcountry trails and as opposed to riding on gravel roads or dirt roads. And we started in BC, but we've now grown to 10 destinations around the world. We just added Nepal very recently, and we're heading over in November to do our first trial run of that trip. We go to places like Peru, Guatemala, Chile, Croatia, Slovenia, Utah, British Columbia, all over the place. So it really, a lot of it is also based on giving back to the communities where we ride. So we have community projects that we support ourselves, and then we encourage our clients to support them as well. We hire only local guides and use local suppliers whenever we can, support local mountain bike clubs. Really trying to do as much as we can to give back to the places that let us do what we do.
It's one of the things that I've appreciated over the years about your philosophy, Mike, and your company is that you've always, giving back has always been a big component of your business model, and not only communities you directly impact, but others that help the environment, help tourism, just help economic development. Let's go back 15 years ago, and I really love your philosophy about taking people on the single track trails and kind of being off the beaten path. Prior to starting Sacred Rides, what inspired? Where were you at? What inspired you to go for it? You're like, I'm going to start a business doing riding single track in British Columbia.
Okay, I'll give you the God's honest truth here. I moved out to British Columbia after university, and I got a degree in economics and kind of figured I'm not that excited about entering my field. I'm just going to go be a ski bum for a winter and then figure it out after that. But before I get down to my career, I'm just gonna have some fun. And I got fired from my first post-university job, which was working at a bar. Had conflicts with my boss, and I soon discovered, like many entrepreneurs do, that often they just have a hard time working for other people, and there's something about a lot of entrepreneurs that I've met that they just feel a need to work for themselves, and maybe call that a character flaw or call that I don't know what you want to call that, but I discovered that I really wanted to work for myself. And a friend, as we were walking by the river in Fernie, British Columbia, said, well, you love to mountain bike, and there's amazing trails around here that people have a hard time finding. Why don't you take people on a spin on these trails and show them a good time? And I thought, well, that's a great idea. And I got my first first loan from something called Community Futures Development, and they help people who can't otherwise get bank loans. Purchased a fleet of rental bikes and put out our first brochure and our first sign. And our first summer, we had a grand total of one customer.
Nice.
We did one day trip, but we did manage to rent a lot of bikes, enough that it kept me motivated. And I do a lot of mentoring of other people, and they ask me, what's your number one tip for entrepreneurs? And I say, as Woody Allen says, 90% of success is just showing up. And I could have easily thrown in the towel after that first summer, but there was enough that happened there that made me want to continue. And so I showed up again the next summer and the summer after that, and now it's 15 years later, and I'm still showing up.
Very good, very good. And you're pursuing your passion. I think I wouldn't say that you have any character flaw at all. I think that the reality is that if we're not pursuing our passion, and if we're stuck in some dead end job, which so many people in the world are, or they like you, they got a degree in one thing and realize either there's not jobs or they don't really have a passion for it. I think if you stay stuck in those things, that is the character flaw. You and many others around the world that are watching this are pursuing the real world and the real life, and so my hat's off to you for going for it and showing up after all these years. So you had one client, you did a lot of bike rentals, and you had a little bit of capital, but starting a business, marketing a business, that was new. Did the second year, did it just take off and was it magic since then, or did you have some struggles along in those early years?
No struggles at all. It was just gravy all the way. Has anybody ever said no struggles to you? I kind of doubt it.
No, I'm just being facetious.
Yeah. There have been many struggles along the way, and there continue to be, and that's part of being an entrepreneur. Is the buck stops with you, and when there are struggles, you have to figure out a way out. There were, our very first ever multi-day backcountry trip was almost an unmitigated disaster. It just poured rain for the first couple of days. Our van got stuck multiple times. Our first client, and he was a guy and his sons. He almost got in a fight with my partner at the time. I had a business partner, but we learned from that, and I think that's the important thing from your struggles is you can take any challenge and you can turn it into a learning opportunity. But if you ignore those learning opportunities, then those same challenges will keep coming up again and again. And in those early years, our biggest struggle was staying on top of costs and getting enough revenue in the door to justify those costs. Stuff like offices and marketing and just normal stuff that businesses face, but trying to put this little town of Fernie that nobody had ever heard of on the map, and trying to convince people that they should come, all the way to this little town in the middle of nowhere in southeastern British Columbia to spend their hard-earned dollars. That was a struggle, and we were helped along. A few years later, after we started, there was an article in Rolling Stone magazine that named Fernie one of the coolest towns in North America. I think maybe the coolest, and then it got other publicity. Really recognized as a cool little ski town in the Rockies, and so they started to develop some name recognition. So it's a lot easier to convince people to spend money on a known quantity than a complete unknown. And that was one. It felt like in the early days we were also marketing Fernie as well as our own business.
Yeah. Well, it's social proof has always been one of my founding precepts about convincing people to choose you and give you money versus 1,000 other options. Whether it's a social proof on, yes, this is a cool place to travel, but Fernie could even has a better reputation. There's still the next social proof hurdle of, are you a good choice? And am I going to go with you, have a good time, not die? And and so that I know the challenges that you've been through, and I agree 100% about the quote-unquote learning opportunities. I really want to have people like yourself share those early days, because I think a lot of people get involved with have a lot of passion for a skill, an area, or region, and they overlook that this is a business, and it does require efforts and energies and learning opportunities to run the business, manage the people, logistics, cash flow, marketing, now e-marketing, social media, and it goes on and on and on. But you've persevered, and you've grown your business, and now you're all over the world, and you've got a pretty amazing business, and a lot of other social proof by other medias commenting on how awesome you are. But more importantly, and one of the reasons I chose your website as a travel website for sales superstars, is your awesome use of social proof throughout your site. It's so conspicuous and bold, and that's sacredrides.com. And I'll have it on the screen when we produce this. But I want people to go and take a look at your site, Mike, so that they can see. You've got the is it the trip of the it's the mountain bike National Geographic Adventure magazine cover. Very bold, right at the top of the center of the screen. You've got awesome pictures that change across the top of the screen with quotes from clients. I noticed that I think your video on the left-hand side changes when you keep coming back to the home page. Doesn't that refresh to a different video? I believe. You've just got a ton of, and you've got your Facebook comment thing on the right, and you've got it's social proof everywhere on your site, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to recognize and award you for outstanding communication, and that you're a good choice.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, it was. We just launched this website, new website about 6 months ago, maybe even less than that, and it was the culmination of almost 2 years. About 1.5 to 2 years putting that together, and there was a lot of time spent discussing the architecture and what we wanted the website to do, and how we wanted to incorporate that social proof. So it wasn't stuff wasn't just slapped up there by accident. There was lots of my marketing director and I, and our designer and our programmer, lots of back and forth. Really about, and it's still a work in progress. I'm meeting with my developer later this week, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different tweaks. But really trying to incorporate best practices in web design, and really have it reflect the unique nature of the business. So it's not the same as a website that sells computers or whatever. Our business lends itself to using lots of photo and video and incorporating. When people go on a trip with us, they have a life-changing experience, and they want to talk about that. If I go to a store and buy a computer, and it may be a great computer, but I'm probably not going to sing it from the mountaintops. So we really try to take advantage of the fact that when people do have a great experience with us, they are very ready to tell others about it.
You're right. It's I've always felt that we're in a quality of life business, and we are. These people are having those peak experiences out on those trails. I watched a couple of those videos, and I was kind of drooling myself, imagining myself going down that single track in Peru, looking at that snaking down the mountain. I thought, ooh, that is cool. But it's true. It's and when those people are sharing their comments, be it video, photos, even short little text quotes on your website, that is the social proof that's telling people, hey, that you guys, this is an awesome experience and changed my life. These guys are a great company. Go, you're gonna have one too. So I would imagine when people call you from your website, or they email you, that they're pretty pumped up, and they don't need a lot of convincing that you're a credible choice for their mountain biking holiday.
Yeah, when leads come in, when somebody for instance, fills out a contact form on our website asking for more information. First of all, we've tried to put as much information on the site as we can, so that people can browse around the site, and they can answer questions about flights or other kind of stuff, and they can get answers to those questions. But we can't answer every single question that people have. But generally, when people come in as a lead to us, they're generally quite eger. And let's face it, who wouldn't want to go travel to Peru and ride a bike around and explore these amazing areas? For most people, it comes down to a question of money or vacation or something like that. So when when we speak to people, a lot of it is just reassuring them. They've already sort of taken the first step, and they've seen the testimonials and the videos and stuff like that. And for most people, traveling to a country like Peru and biking in the backcountry is a little bit scary. And we try to reassure them that, you know, again, that we are a reputable company and that we've been doing this for 15 years and we have an excellent safety record and our organizational record. So, you know, the work that we do to support those leads and our clients is in addition to what our website does. So it's a natural extension of it.
I think the analogy of hand-holding and kind of making people feel comfortable is a good one, because you're right that sales process of converting a prospect into a client happens long before the trip starts, during the trip, and after the trip, because that organizational or operational aspect, it's not just, hey, am I going to be safe on the trail, but what is your company doing to ensure my safety in route, in transit? What's your backup? What are you going to do to help me feel more comfortable, and more about around their personal safety than just, you know, the quality of the ride. So I think that's a good point.